everyone, Mary at Espresso Press Design. Thank you for joining me today, November 11th, 2025. Today we're going to be making some fun texture and texture tools that you can keep for your texture making, jelly plate, anytime you want to have a quick fun little play. I've been spending the last couple of days making these and having a lot of fun with them. So let me just explain the concept, because I was here making them and then the dogs went crazy. So this is take 2 and I don't want to have to start all over, so it's just going to take too much time, and let's just get to the fun part anyway. So you're going to need some yarn, some plastic wrap, some foam, some masking tape, and some sort of brayer. But if you don't have that, you can make it with your paper towel rolls. So don't worry if you don't have the brayers, but for me, since I feel like I can use these a lot, I went and bought 3 new brayers at Hobby Lobby, and they were like $2.99. They didn't have the one I wanted, of course. They were out of stock, but this was the same price, and it's a diamond painting brayer, and it's working fine. So I picked up all they had, and that was 3. And then this one I made on a brayer I never use, so it's just random scrap foam strips stuck on there. And then this one has the aluminum foil, and this one has more foam strips that I die cut and punched little circles into, and then just stuck it on the brayer. But these brayers are easy because they come apart and you can just make your design on there. This is torn tape, and then you have it ready to make texture. So let me just, and this is an old paint roller with dried paint on it. If you have something like that lying around, you can use that. I keep this in my craft room whenever I want to do an experiment with a roller and I don't want to mess up a brayer. I just grab this. It's nice and hard. And this is from Shurline, Shurline. If you can find something like that, it's great. Your plastic wrap one you can put on a foam roller. This is a yellow foam roller that they sell these in multi packs for kids, but the problem is you're going to have some give because it's not hard. So you might find that not as comfortable as the hard brayer, but it can be done. And you could also tape it tight with some duct tape or masking tape, and then it would be a little harder, a little more firm if you prefer a firm roller. And then here is the aluminum foil one, and I just wrapped my foil and taped it. So to do that, first you're going to, if I still have it here, to get something like this, if you want something uniform around there, you're going to want to measure the circumference of your brayer. Just take a piece of string and wrap it around there, and then you know the length of your piece of foam that you want to cut. I had to die cut these little circles in here with a tiny circle die cut because and the little ones I just used my punch. So I measured my foam to the string, and then I knew how much I needed to wrap around there uniformly. This is just random, made with various foam scraps that I cut into little rectangles, and I just varied the width, varied the length, and put them on there randomly. This is yarn, and you can wrap that randomly, or you can wrap it straight across like a row, which I'm doing today because I kind of like that pattern a little better than random. And then the tape, of course, you can just put on any size you want, and this is torn tape. And I did these on rolls as well. So I am going to show you how I did the tape one. And then first I'm just going to show you the patterns here, and then we can get started with the fun part. And I'm sorry, the dogs just started going crazy, so I had to stop everything. And I hope I deleted my video. So here's the yarn, and this is on double color. And this is pretty much the straight pattern, and I went one way and then I went the other. Love that. Here's the random yarn. I did try wrapping the yarn around the foam roller, but then I got the edge of the foam picking up the paint, so that's the random pattern yarn. This one is the aluminum foil. This one is the plastic wrap. And this one is the tape circle, the foam circles. And here it is wet and wet. And I think this is half and half wet, half dry. And this is the tape. This is this one. And then here is the masking tape, the torn tape. And here is the random foam strips. And I went one way and went the other way. That is a ton of fun. Okay, so, and I also have some here I did on the jelly plate with gouache. I do not have enough space here to do two different mediums, so maybe I'll do this in another video. I have been experimenting with the jelly plate, and I might actually even use it now that I found an easy way to clean up by using gouache. And here's a few I played around with. That is the torn tape, and I just went two different ways. That's the foam strips. That's the circles. And that's the circles, wet and wet. Okay, so what was I going to do? Okay, I'm going to show you quickly how I made this. I just measured my circumference, and then I took two pieces of tape, let me get a spare piece here just to hold this down. Basically, I want to keep a little edge on there so it will stick to my cardboard. And then I just took a shorter piece, laid it on top there so it was double. And then I punched my holes. And you might find an easier way to do this. You could use, I forgot to bring it over here. You could use freezer paper. You could use the packaging paper with the wax coating inside, the Amazon brown packaging, the waterproof. Okay, so I have a sticky end, okay, and then I just wrapped my roll like that, okay? Very simple. So kids, you can do this, or you can make them out of completely recyclable materials, or I felt, since I'll probably use these a lot, it was worth it to me to go pick up some extra Brayers. So let me set these to the side here and show you what else you're going to need. And again, I just used scrap foam. I just kind of crumpled up my plastic wrap, got it to the size of the roller, put some double-sided tape, and crunched it down. It's going to crunch down anyway once you start rolling. If you're brave, you could use this foam tape to hold things together, probably, if you want to, or you could use it to do something like this, but I know how sticky this is, and it would probably take me forever to soak that glue off, so I didn't do it, but you can try it. Okay, so you're going to need some paper. I have a whole stack here of copy paper. You're going to need something to get your paint onto. And this is just an old placemat. This is an old notebook cover. And they work great for getting a little, some paint on your paper. And I'm just going to get a large flat brush here that holds a lot of paint. And I'm just going to get it on here. And I'm hoping that you're going to see, I have alcohol on here. I cleaned it off with alcohol sanitizer. So I want to get a nice thick coat on here. And I'm going to be probably just using one color because I want you to see the contrasts. And I want you to see the texture immediately, but of course you use whatever colors you want. And I'm probably going to be doing some of these wet in wet. So, okay, let's start out with this one. And I still have some gouache on here, so I might get a, you can see what is probably going to happen if you do this on the jelly plate. Okay. Is that cool or what? Excuse my squeaky brayer. And there you go. That is a 5-minute texture, a 5-second texture. And you can go the other way. And you can keep spraying. Pick up all your water. You can layer. Of course, if you know how to do watercolor, you're going to realize right away how many different ways you can use this. There you go. You have a cool texture in 5 minutes, and then it kind of overlaps and creates some more texture. Okay, that's the first one. I'm going to do some, I have some I have some colored paper here. I'm going to do some of that at the end for you. Okay, let me just get some more color. I can't believe I have to fill this paint tray already. Okay. This is another favorite. And there you can see what you're going to get on the jelly plate once you roll it. This one, I'll do it both ways. I'll do it wet and wet and wet on dry. And yes, I'm picking up gouache, but that's okay. And then you can just clean these off with, run them under some water. There you go. That's the second one. Now the tape one, it does work better wet and wet. So I'm going to spray my paper. Now I could let this sit, let it get shiny, let it get wet but not shiny. That would probably be the way to go. But this one worked better. Wet and wet. And there you go. Because it's not as, it's not as porous. And that is really cool. And again, I'm just going to go across so I can get a different effect for you. And there's the torn tape. Let me see if I can get some really, really thick paint on here. And see if I can get this dry on dry or wet on dry. Maybe it's just a matter of, there we go. There is a big gloopy glob. Let's try that. Okay, there we go. This would be really cool on the jelly plate. Let's try it wet on dry. I like that just as much. Okay, there it is, wet on dry, very textured, very distressed. Okay, let's do Let's do the plastic wrap and the aluminum foil, and then we'll do the yarn. Now this one, I think it's just the way this roller is working. You're going to get your standard plastic wrap look. Okay, there's your plastic wrap. I want to try that one wet and wet. Clean up my palette here a little. Get some more paint. I'm sorry I keep doing all these in blue, but this light in this room just bleaches out color so much that I could be doing them, I should be doing them in black actually. I could use some black and white. Okay, this is wet and wet. That's gorgeous. That's gorgeous. There you go, you have some painty papers in like 2 seconds. And of course I could add another color on top of there easily. That's gorgeous. And the more water, the more it blends. Okay, what's left? Okay, we might as well do the tubes while we're at it. And this one I'm going to do wet and wet. These are a little more difficult because you have to get pick up enough paint first of all, which I don't know if I did. So let me get some more on there. Okay. Let me turn this way. See, I much prefer the brayer. That's why I went and normally I would hand make all my stuff, but I much prefer the brayer and the roller. So there's your circle tape. And that is wet and wet. Very cool. And then let's do this one while we're at it. And these are good to just try out your design. But on the brayer, of course, if you don't like something, you can just peel that foam off and add something else. If you get tired of one design, you can just make another. Now, I do like this because it's a little more random. But as you can see, doing this instead of the brayer, you're going to get your fingers in it. So I hope this is self-explanatory enough and gorgeous. I can do a lot with that. I hope it's self-explanatory enough, even if I didn't make one by hand because of my animals, and my husband was on the phone, so he couldn't corral them. And actually this video is a day ahead because I have an event I would like to attend and I'm not going to have time. Okay, I think I'm doing the aluminum foil wet and wet as well, because it's kind of like the tape, and I hope this even rolls correctly. It's kind of like the tape. You're only going to pick up so much unless you're using acrylic, and then you're going to pick up a lot more paint. And I feel something weird going on there. Here's the aluminum foil. Now there, if you want a really rough texture, like a painty paper background, and this just comes off in 2 seconds. So there's the aluminum foil. And then here's another favorite, the yarn. Now it takes a little while to get enough color soaked into the fibers, so I'm probably gonna put some more paint, but after they're nice and wet, it's gorgeous. Okay. Ready? Let's hope. It's not quite wet enough. Let me add some water here, that might help. I mean, it's very textured, but it works better after the yarn soaks up some paint. So after you do it like 10 times. But that looks like tree bark. And if you crisscross your string and go all loopy all around it, you're going to get waves in there, which I also liked, but let me get this nice and soaked. And then I'm just going to make a weave, which I love. And you can also do the yarn wet and wet. So there's the yarn. Love it. Okay, so we're almost at 30 here. So I'm going to do the yarn wet and wet, see what happens. I don't think I ever did that. And then I'm going to get some on here for you in color. 2 colors. And then I'm going to figure out something to make with all my new paper for the photo. Oh, that's beautiful. That's cool. Yeah. If you spread that out, you can easily do a plaid. Let me get some black here and see what happens. Dark blue black, or maybe that's Payne's gray. So again, you can use these on the jelly plate. You can just make your own jelly tools. And this yarn, you know, once it gets soaked with one color, you're just going to end up with mud. If you want to keep your colors clean, I would just use a roller like this and keep rewrapping it if you want to keep your colors clean. So there's the yarn wet and wet. Okay, let's do some color here. And then we're going to call this done. Let's get some dark black and blue and get some contrast on here. And of course I'm going to go for my favorite. I love the, you can't have too many dots. There you go. I love that. Love that. It was worth the time to sit there and die cut out all those little holes, because I'm going to use that a lot. Okay. Let's just stick with the black and blue and go for let's do the torn tape. So I mean, you can just imagine how many different types of patterns you can come up with. And I probably will go buy some more of these Brayers, because when I want to make some painty papers, I really don't feel like taking forever. And this is even faster than stencils. There we go. 2-minute texture. Love that. Okay, let me get my purple one here. And then I'm going to do my random stripes. Well, maybe I'll do 2 different things. Okay, let's combine things here a little bit. Again, I hope you're going to see that. That's probably what's going to happen on the jelly plate, although I'm not a jelly expert, so it's going to lift, or you can also do it on there like this. That's what I did with some of the gouache. I put some paint on here and rolled it off onto the plate, because gouache, I don't think gouache works on the plate like acrylic. Oh, look at that. Didn't mean to do that, but okay, let's see. There we go. Okay, do I want to do one more? Which one? I should be doing this in a warm color. My blue trays are almost empty already. Good thing I did this today, otherwise I would be let's see. Well, I love my circles so much, I'm just going to do that again. Because I just, you know, you can't have too many dots. There you go. I just love this. Love it. It's going to make my life so much easier. Okay, I'm going to get this cleaned off. Do some quick yarn ones. There you can see a little bit of curve where my yarn is kind of coming off the end a little bit. Love it. Absolutely love it. And then of course I can just spray this. Do some smushing and clean that off even more. Okay, let me grab this stack. Let's go through. Love it. Love it. Love it. That's cool. There's the yarn again. Aluminum foil, I think. Foam strips. Tape on the roll. Plastic wrap. Plastic wrap. Torn tape. Torn tape. Strippy roll. Circle roll, strippy roll, and here we go again with the ones on the jelly plate with gouache. Okay, everyone. I hope you found this helpful enough. I hope it was self-explanatory enough. I'm sorry I didn't take the time to make a brayer, but I trust you pretty much get the gist. You're just basically sticking foam strips on a roll, whatever shapes you desire, and yeah, if you think it's worth it to go pick up a few of these cheapy brayers and keep these as your texture tools. I mean, I'm sure you can make a ton of them, and I know for myself I can combine these with stencils, and I can do some more mixed media on top. I can do all kinds of things. So I hope you find it helpful too, and you have a great play day trying it out. And I'll see you next time. You have a great day and a great week. Bye.